Seth Christian, the writer-director of Sticks.
I'm Kris Phipps, the producer of Sticks and Flush.
I'm Matthew Thomas. I'm the executive producer of Sticks.
Welcome, you guys. I'm very happy to have you guys here.
Well,
All right.
Be here.
Oh, thank you. Let's begin with the first question I always ask, which is, what was the spark of inspiration that began this whole thing?
Well, first of all, we wanted to write a story that we could afford and shoot in the area of Nashville. As far as the story, it kind of stemmed from me growing up in a place where I always felt like I wanted to get out, and I always felt like I didn't really belong there, and my wings were bigger than my cage per se. But also just observation of people that lived even a lot in the Tennessee area where we filmed, where you witness people that are kind of stuck in these ruts of small towns, and they have big dreams too, and they kind of they don't reach beyond their bubble of how they grew up and what they knew and their education, and they're stuck there. So this film kind of reaches into those peoples and how you can change your life. You have choices you can make
And spread those wings.
Yeah. Spread those wings. So. Next question.
Spark of inspiration.
Well, with Flush or with Sticks, or with both?
Both.
Well, with Sticks, Seth wrote the script, and when I read it, I connected with it on those same levels. I'm from a small town, and when I read the script, I could just really connect with Maya's feeling of being trapped, and the baggage and confusion she felt, and just the journey that she goes from beginning to end in that film. I was a big fan of Seth's first film that played when we met, actually, at the first Pasadena International Film Festival, Discover Casper, and his script for Sticks was as wonderful as I thought it was going to be after seeing that first film. And the inspiration for Flush.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Oh, okay.
I think we all can identify with a situation of that sort.
It's pretty simple. I think for me, now the director himself who wrote it, he in his mind was just, he's a well-respected sound engineer in Austin, and he wanted to have a first project to direct, and he looked up this little story, and he called me and he said, hey, I wrote this killer toilet story, and when I did that, I immediately thought of you, and so I was like, thanks a lot, and but then when I read it, for myself, I felt it was about the man who ventures into this airport bathroom, who has control of everything. That this is a man that controls everyone around him in every situation, and he has finally met his match with this public toilet, this simple, censored, automatic flush public toilet.
With a life of its own.
With a life of its own, yeah. And how things can unravel very quickly. But after we screened the film a couple of times, I really started to learn about people's feelings about public bathrooms and automatic flush toilets, and that there's actually a real fear there. There are actually many more stories true stories of people having horrible incidents.
Eaten up by a toilet?
Well, having their pants or their tie, or having something shoot up and splash them in the face, horrible stuff. So people were coming to me and just saying, this movie meant so much to me. I'm connecting with this, and I'm just like, really, But yeah, I guess there's a fear there.
There's a deep subtext going on there.
Yes, it's very layered.
Yes.
For Sticks, for me, as far as my spark of inspiration, whenever he handed me the script and we've worked together again, we've developed a friendship over the years. I read it, and just kind of like what they said, I relate, and I think everybody can in the creative industry, is like, you want to reach for something high and something great, but you can't wait for the gold barrel at the end of the rainbow. You can do it whenever you want, and that was what inspired me to be a part of it. That's why.
That's beautiful. Thanks for that, yeah. My next question is biggest challenge, biggest ordeal, what you had to deal with. What was the most difficult thing you had to deal with during the project?
Definitely the location and all of the cumbersome things that come along with shooting up in the mountains. GPS working half the time, and
Yeah, how did you pull that off?
it was rough. I mean, all the cabins that they all stayed at were long away from the sets. So once you're in the thick of it, you're in it, and there's nowhere to go. It's like we're shooting these scenes and you're stuck. You know, there's a time zone that goes right through where we shot too. So some of the locations were on the left, some of the locations were on the right. So it's like I'll see you at 3 o'clock, and we have another scene. I'll see you there at 3 o'clock, and
I can only imagine the confusion arising from this.
There was one scene where we had to just stand around for an hour. Lost that time, but you know, you learn through all those things, and you don't expect some of those things. Just the area, you know, having somebody just watch out for coppermouth snakes everywhere.
Easy shoot.
Setting up tracks with apple boxes out in the middle of
apple boxes.
Well, just the track and
really,
and all these characters, you know, these actors coming in from New York and Chicago and LA, and they're all coming to a foreign place, and they don't know what to expect, you know, and it's just out in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, some bear could be running up. So those are the tangible challenges.
One of the challenges that I remember on sticks in the early beginning is when we were location scouting, and when you go into an area like Crossville, that is more rural than rural. When we're way up in the mountains, and we're looking at the trailer house that eventually became the main setting, we would have people just sort of appear out of the woods. You know, this happened more than once, that we would be, you know, looking around. Some man would walk out of the woods and just be like, you know, what can I do for you boys, like that, and there would be Ewans, yeah, and there would be sort of a, and you could tell that.
I sense a new movie happening in your head.
Yeah.
Horror one.
Yeah. And you could tell that
they got rejected.
Oh, yeah.
That they meant business, and there was a feeling of a real threat there. Luckily, Matt's fiance at the time is from a nearby area, and so we were always able to sort of give out her name as a connection there, and then things would calm down quickly. So that's the one challenge that started to scare me from the beginning. That I thought, okay, you know,
you gotta love those people that show up there and go, hey there,
hey,
hi.
Well,
what are you doing here?
The locals were funny too, because it's like there was one incident where we're trying to find a fridge for the trailer scene, just some fridge. It doesn't matter if it works or not. And so we show up at some junkyard, and we're asking for a fridge, and it's like, what do you need it for? And we're making a movie, and and they're like, it doesn't matter if it works or not. We just need an old fridge. And what in the hell do you want a fridge that don't work? You know, it's just little things like that you don't communicate with what movies, how you make a movie, and all the parts that goes into it. And, but it's just interesting.
What was the toughest thing for you?
The toughest thing for me on set was being the executive producer, and some of the things that I was doing. I was trying to coordinate everybody, the team, keeping everybody happy. What would happen is, like he said, you know, you bring these people in from out of town, crew, cast, you know, even he's from out of town, and they show up, and you see that nervousness in their eye right when they get there. And I had been walking these areas for months trying to find them, so I felt a little bit more comfortable. But whenever people would get on set, I feel like it wasn't what everybody was expecting. It was much harder, scarier, tougher than what they were expecting. Even though we told them and we warned them over and over again. And the toughest thing on set was just keeping everybody peaceful and getting through a tough project that everybody learned a lot from and had a great experience. And I really appreciate everybody who pulled through it with us. It was a fun time.
Well, I think everybody should be happy with the end result, I would say. I certainly was. So, my next question is, what do you want people to take away from this movie when they exit the theater? theater? Is there a message or something you guys want them to think about when they finish watching it?
I think with reaching out to those peoples in those communities I was talking about that brought on the inspiration, where you may live in a place that's, you know, growing up, all you know is a place of hopelessness or plight or decadence, and you feel like you're just trapped and can't do anything about it, and you're stuck, or you're working somewhere and you only can reach as far as you can because there's financial burdens, and feel desperate. And so I think just to inspire people, similar to what Jasmine said about her film, is just to, you know, reach beyond that. And you have a choice. The beauty of being human is you have a choice to change your life and do whatever you wish to do. So
Beautiful.
I think that's the rainbow.
Yeah, I think for Six, I guess I have to second Seth that basically there's always a chance, no matter what your background, who your family is. There's always a doorway somewhere to what you're really dreaming that your life can be. And then for Flush, it's real simple for me. I have never, since the days I started elementary school to now, have gone number 2 in a public bathroom. I've just never been able to do it. I don't see how people can.
Even when they have those little things you pull out and put over the...
Forget it, man. I can't do any of it. And so, you know, I continue to not do that. And,
Good for
you know,
you.
this film is a warning to others, I guess, about that.
I'm laughing, but I have the same problem.
We relate in that way, yeah. For me, goes back to kind of what I said my inspiration was. I believe that as humans, one of our greatest abilities and most powerful attributes is the ability to choose, to make our own choices. And with this film, when people walk away from it, I don't want to give any spoilers, but she's kind of waiting on something for a long period of time. And I want people to get out of it that at any moment you can take a different step. You don't have to be stuck in the rut. You don't have to be stuck in that life. You don't have to be stuck in the pain. You can walk forward whenever you choose.
In many ways, what you're waiting for is you.
Exactly.
Making that choice. Very good, very good. All right, now for the final question, the future. Let's talk about future projects. What do you guys have in store? All of that.
Right now we're just in writing phase, and 2 or 3 features that we're working on, and we'll see where that goes. But
Did you
a lot
say
of it,
2 or 3?
yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, one is kind of on hiatus now with some issues I'm talking with Universal about, but it's a long process. But and then the other couple we're just in writing phase, so it's, and getting out of the red, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Financially with that one, but yeah, it's just, we're chilling and just trying to make some money again.
Good.
Me and some other filmmakers in Austin started an organization last year in Austin that's called Garth Manor Cinema. And we've been working with theaters like the Alamo Drafthouse to create events that mix revival screenings with screenings of emerging filmmakers' films.
Oh.
And we do dual Q&As with legendary filmmakers and actors,
Oh, I love
and mix
those.
that with young filmmakers,
Yeah.
to kind of put them on the same stage together. So last year that really took off. So this year we're doing a Texas tour for Garth Manor, and actually while I'm here, I'm meeting with some theaters here to see if we can get over here too and do some stuff over here. And then I just have I have one final short that I really want to do. It's a horror short called Extension. I've always been in my look on horrors. I've always been into the idea of sort of the physical manifestation of our emotions, and so I've got a short that deals with sexual abuse that turns into sort of a creature short, and so it's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm finally going to try to tackle it here this summer. So
Can't wait.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
What I got going on is I'm always looking for the next project as a producer. And one thing with me and Seth, we're in the writing phase. We got some very exciting things coming up, and you know, I'm just making money right now, hoping to be able to pay for it all, because he tells me 10 minutes and it's 20 minutes. He tells me it's gonna be 10 grand and it's 50 grand. So
It's the
that's what
nature
I
of the
got
beast.
coming up. I got coming up a lovely bill to pay, hopefully.
That's why not the producer.
Well, all right, you guys. It's been an honor having you here. Thank you so much for all of this. I really appreciate
Thank you.
it.
We enjoy this fest, and thank you for you and your Jessica and for all the work you guys do. We had fun with this festival.
Thank you.
Truly a pleasure.